For sure, that's awesome. So where are you guys? Where have you been on the ground with the HCI?
Yeah, so I went to Syria. All these places is with Hassan Wadi. He's a brother. He literally was just over for dinner the other night. So we went to Syria. We left Sana and the girls and the rest of the team in southern Turkey, just for one night. We went to Idlib, and that was an eye-opening experience, I can tell you. And then we were in Gaziantep and Istanbul. And then we also went, this past summer we did Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine. So 3, 4, 5 countries.
Awesome.
Yeah, with HCI. And I mean, it's very overwhelming when you think about,
I can imagine.
when you go and you go to these refugee camps and you meet these people and you see the difficulties and the hardships that they have to live through, and then you get to go home. And it's such a strange feeling. Like, I remember, when we left Palestine, we went to Dubai, because we'd never.
That's just not a good transition.
No, because you're just like, how is this happening, right?
Yeah.
And then alhamdulillah, we went for Umrah at that point, and I will say this to everybody, that the feeling you have in Masjid al-Aqsa is far beyond what you feel in Mecca or Medina. I can't explain it. If you know, if you've been,
it's surrounded by suffering, so it has a different level of spiritual.
100%. It's we were just talking about this on the way here, and that Mecca and Medina, and it's. I mean, for us, we had to walk through the mall to go and do Umrah. We're walking past Sephora and these places.
That's the problem.
Like, this is crazy,
yeah.
Right? And then a massive amount of people is totally different. And then when you're in Masjid al-Aqsa, like you said, surrounded by hardship and surrounded by Israeli guards that are like, what are you here for? I'm like, I'm here to pray. Well, you're not Muslim.
Oh, damn.
Okay, sure. Right? I have to show my passport. My name is Muhammad. Yeah, I mean, I should pass the test. I don't know if there is one, but when you go, man, it's such a serene place, surrounded by chaos, surrounded by violence and turmoil, and being there and then leaving, you feel just a certain way that it's hard. That's the hardest part about humanitarian work, is once you leave, it changes you. Honestly, it changes.
How did the kids take it, and them seeing this stuff firsthand at their age?
Yeah, I think that goes back to the homeschooling thing, right?
Yeah.
They're not getting enough social interaction.
Oh, there's way more than...
They're getting plenty, more than most people. They, subhanAllah, they take it better than us. They are, mashallah, some of the most aware children when it comes to the realities of the world. It's been difficult at times. It's been difficult, for them to see these kids and play with these kids, and then, like, these kids are stuck essentially in these refugee camps. They have nowhere to go. This is their home. We did one video where the girls are, I think it was at maybe like Halal Rib Fest or something in the summer at Downsview Park. So it was very beautiful, and booths, and everybody's happy, and so they're skipping along, and then all of a sudden it transitions, and they're skipping through this refugee tents, right? Yeah. And I think that for them as kids, it doesn't affect them as much. It definitely is difficult for them, but I feel like, once they get older, that realization that, that these kids a lot of these people are born in these refugee camps, and they live their whole life in these refugee camps. There is, Dr. Norman Finkelstein, may Allah bless that man. One thing that he said about, these Hamas fighters in Gaza, that they were born with no past, they have no present, and they have no future.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Right? And it's so powerful when you hear that and you think, like, it's so true. It's such an accurate description of people in refugee camps, let alone open air prisons or concentration camps, as Gaza is, that you just don't understand the impact of what you're seeing when you're young. But I think as you get old, like us, you can't help but just cry. It's
for sure.
So hard.
Is there any other places that you want to visit that are still
Everywhere, honestly. We we were supposed to go to Pakistan
Hmm.
to do some work there. Would love to go to Afghanistan. Um, Everywhere, honestly. Africa is a big one. You know,
I think the Uyghur suffering as well. It's
yeah,
such a deep suffering, but it's so
100%.
hidden under wraps and
Yeah,
no one can visit.
yeah,
It just gets forgotten about.
yeah.
But again, that doesn't mean any other suffering is any less for sure.
Of course, of course.
How can people help?
I mean, donate. I mean, that's all we can do, honestly,
Yeah.
at this particular time. Whether it doesn't matter what charity you're donating to, as long as it's a reputable charity.
Mhm.
Again, I mean, I can vouch for HCI. Their family. You know, we've been through some very difficult times together, in some very difficult situations. I remember this is kind of funny, but looking back, it's like, wow, that could have went sideways. But myself and Hassan, we were in Syria, and we were traveling along the road when we stopped at Syrian Tim Hortons, and it was just a pickup truck with a cappuccino machine in the back.
Nice.
And it was amazing coffee, by the way. But we were just kind of, you know, talking with the people, and all of a sudden this car pulled up behind us. So for those that don't know, Idlib is a very contentious area.
Yeah, it is.
You have, you know, rebels, you have ISIS fighters, you have government fighters. So it's a crazy place. And the car pulled up behind. It was kind of behind me and Hassan, and these two guys got out, and we just saw the change in the people. We're like, so we turn and we look, and these guys they're not. I don't know who they were, but you know, they've got AKs, body armor. They're not government. And the people were scared. They're like, we got to go right now. Like, it was just like in the car, and away we go, right? So there's definitely issues that come about along
sure.
these things, right? But so having traveled with HCI, I can vouch for HCI. You know, we have a team on the ground in Gaza, have had the entire time, feeding people all the time. We actually had one of our warehouses bombed by the IOF, and killed two of our team members. May Allah bless them and forgive them and grant them the heights of Jannah. I mean. But I mean, anything, you know, when it comes to the suffering of people, I think that it's imperative that you use whatever you have.